Hello, everyone. This is Matt Hoots with Radic Green, and I'm here with my friends from Benjamin Moore, and they're going to talk about some of their products that are green, sustainable, why they are, and how they make buildings more pleasant to live in. So I've got Vincent and Alfredo here, and they're going to talk about the Benjamin Moore EcoSpec product and what it's about and what it can do for your project. So why like where is this particular product to be used? Is it something that's a general purpose product? Does it kill germs? Does it save the world? Does it clean the air? Like what is special about this product? And why is it considered sustainable?
Well, first of all, I want to say thank you for the time. My name is Alfredo Valiant. I manage all of the Benjamin Moore professional and commercial products, and specifically targeted for commercial use facilities, healthcare environments. But before I actually get into EcoSpec or EcoSpec Silver in this case, I want to talk a little bit of the current environment and challenges that we're seeing in our market, in our segment, specifically when it comes to healthcare facilities and communities, because they are currently experiencing higher traffic and increased abuse due to the global pandemic with COVID-19. If you see a lot of these hospitals, emergency care, you see a lot of the clinics, they're crowded with people, and this comes to mind to facility maintenance, property managers, because they need to maintain a lot of these facilities, even more so now than before. This has also increased the demand and awareness for eco-responsible products with antimicrobial properties and zero VOCs. And as we all know, zero VOCs or VOCs, volatile organic compounds, these are a large group of chemicals that are found in many products and paints. And these chemicals are actually released into the indoor air that we all breathe. So that's why we feel that a product like EcoSpec Silver is perfectly suited for commercial spaces and healthcare facilities, because it actually meets their needs, right? Especially with everything that's going on. This is a low odor interior paint, zero VOCs. It contains a unique antimicrobial package, including the micronized elemental silver that actually inhibits the growth of mold and mildew on the surface of the paint. This is an easy to apply paint. It's a latex waterborne formula that's quick drying. It actually uses organics, proprietary organics colorants, and the paint can be tinted to over 3,500 Benjamin Moore colors. And this product is also available in a flat, eggshell, and semi-gloss finishes. We also know that today we see silver used in a variety of areas and products in many different segments, from medical devices to cosmetics, implants, textiles, and paint, of course. And we were actually one of the first companies to add the silver technology to our paint. So in terms of how the technology works, I wanted to let Vinny Libero, who is our chemist, our product development manager, and who can explain a little bit more in depth as to how silver works in our paint.
Sure, thanks, Alfredo. Just as a way of introduction, as Alfredo mentioned, I'm Vin Libero. I am one of the R&D managers at Benjamin Moore. Was very involved in the development of the EcoSpec and the EcoSpec Silver products. When we first developed it years ago, we obviously never had anything like a pandemic in mind when we developed it. But, at the time, we really were just looking at building a product that was as safe as possible for the consumer to use. So we tried to use materials that were the most benign, most non-toxic, and those kind of what we formulated into the product. The addition of silver came a little bit later. The thought there was elemental silver has been used for hundreds of years as an antimicrobial, dating well back into, ancient Roman and Greek times. So it just made sense to use it. It's a relatively safe, benign, non-toxic material, and it's been known to be used, in everything as an antimicrobial from, treating wounds to purifying water. So it made sense to put it into a paint coating for that same sort of purpose. So as Alfredo mentioned, it's a very small particle silver. It's to be very kind of popcorny in nature. So it's got a lot of surface area on it, a lot of active sites on it. So when it's sitting either in the paint film or on the paint film surface, it presents a lot of sites that can attach to microbes. And what it does really is it releases silver ions, which attach to, actually break through the cell membrane of the microbes, and actually attaches to the DNA of the microbe, whether it's mold or mildew or bacteria or whatever you want to call it. And it actually kills the bacteria. So, and it also has kind of an exponential effect, because not only does it kill the bacteria, prevents that bacteria from multiplying or reproducing and growing. So it's a very efficient way of killing those types of microbes. So.
Yeah, and from a benefits standpoint, this product actually won't interfere with facilities' existing cleaning protocols. The fact that it fights the growth of mold and mildew, and it assists bacteria odors from the paint surfaces. This actually extends the useful life of the paint by controlling deterioration caused by mildew, mold, and fungus. Also, as Vinny mentioned, the antimicrobial properties continue to protect the paint surface even after wear and repeated washing, which is also very important for facilities and commercial spaces, because they're constantly cleaning and maintaining those walls. It's ideally suited for healthcare facilities, hospitals, schools, hospitalities, facilities, and all occupied commercial spaces. It's a quick drying product too, so we have a same-day return to surface for minimal disruption to those facilities, which is very, very important. Minimal disruption in facilities is important because you got to be able to maintain or paint those areas without causing disruption and people coming in and out of those areas. And our product can also be rolled, brushed, and sprayed. So the ease of application is great as well. So, this is a product that we've had for about, how long you would say, Vinny? About 7 or 8 years. And now more than ever, I would say it's very relevant, especially with the current environment and everything that's going on. So we feel that this product is the perfect solution for the current challenges with many of these facilities and commercial spaces.
So, so with this, because obviously you've got the binding agent to hold that together, it seems like as if they clean the walls, you may actually be reactivating some of the silver at the same time, because you're basically getting, so even if you like wear the paint down a little bit, you're basically just exposing more of the silver so it could keep on cleaning. So it doesn't, so it sounds like it permeates throughout the product. It's a homogeneous, and it's not like on the surface layer or the core layer. It's all throughout the paint, it sounds like.
It's suspended within the paint film. So it doesn't matter how many times you wear it or you clean it, you'll still have the silver ions inside, and you will be able to depend on those silver ions to combat, the mold and mildew and some of the bacteria that come in touch with the paint film.
Yeah, I mean, that's the nice thing about the silver is it's not like some other types of additives that kind of leach out of the paint film and then disappear and then is no longer effective. It's kind of embedded in the paint film, and it really doesn't go away. It just continues to be release those silver ions, as you mentioned, as you kind of wipe it down and wet it. And so it's continually active.
And I guess you also mentioned that it has the surface to mash ratio. It's got a rough surface. That way, like the coating or the binder isn't covering it all the time, and there's enough parts of it protruding out that it can release those ions instead of just being embedded. I mean, it's suspended in the paint, but you don't want to be covered by the
Right.
paint or the other parts of the paint that would that are doing their parts of the paint job. So it sounds like this. So, I mean, do you have a diagram or something that that we can add to this film later
Yes.
to kind of show what that
Yes,
looks like?
we definitely have enough.
So does it look like an antler? Like what does it
Yeah.
look like?
We can definitely share that with you.
Okay.
And we can add it to the video, absolutely.
So, are there any plans to make gold and any other precious metals, or is like silver's the one that you're going with mainly because of the medicinal properties and the fact that it does have a long track record of
So,
be able to kill microbes?
so for now, that's what we're using in terms of technology. And EcoSpec Silver is part of the master brand. Or the EcoSpec Silver is a sub-brand of the master brand EcoSpec. We also have our EcoSpec line, which is also another low odor, low VOC, 0 VOC, 100% acrylic product that is part of the family. But for now, we're just focusing on EcoSpec Silver, and for the future, we're also looking at new technologies, different technologies out there. So for now, that's what we're using. It doesn't mean that in the future we're not going to be able to use something else that's available as well.
Even if you are, you can't tell me because that's
Absolutely.
you can't have your we're gonna have millions of views on this video.
Yeah.
We can't have everybody looking at it and stealing the concept. So the next question, and this is going to be part of our we've got our Mythbuster series. So the myth is that when you use a low VOC paint, because when low VOC paints came out, just like when all these new technologies come out, they don't perform as well. Like you have the low flush toilets, where they just kind of retrofitted the toilet to be compliant, didn't quite work. Where I know that that's not true, but there still is that perception out there. And like have you guys help me debunk that we're not giving up points on durability and other aspects of the paint just because we're going low VOC.
Vinny, you want to take that?
Yeah, sure. No, well, that's true. I think what you said, Matt. Technology continues to evolve and improve. So, I mean, 20 years ago, we really didn't have the cell phones we have today either. So technology continues to improve, and yeah, when a lot of these low VOC products first came out, they probably did have their shortcomings. People complained that they maybe were a little difficult to apply, or they didn't perform quite the way as conventional coatings did. But we never stay pat as far as technology goes. We're constantly evolving products and looking to improve them. And the technology has gone to the point now where these products apply and perform just like a conventional latex product does. The technology's really improved quite a bit, so you do get the same performance that you would expect out of any other sort of acrylic coating.
So really, there's no downside to choosing this product. Say if you went with EcoSpec and not EcoSpec Silver, obviously the silver gives you that added that aspect and that extra dimension. But with EcoSpec, there's really not a downside, especially if you're dealing with a client that's chemical sensitive, or like you said, you can apply this in the space. You could probably paint one room, the next room is operational, and you're not off-gassing into the space, contaminating other rooms. So it sounds like if you're in a school or a hospital or even office place, the workers are safe as you're applying this product.
Yes. That is correct, and even though 0 VOCs are important, we also know that the trend is to go it's going towards low VOC products, right? As long as you keep it under 50 grams of VOC, you can be sure that you have a safe environment. And to Vinny's point, waterborne products, latex products are are increasingly becoming more and more functional in a way that those products are healthier and safer for those environments. So our technologies are increasingly getting better and better in making sure that we don't have those concerns that older paints, those alkyd paints or those high odor paints have, and we're moving in that direction. And I think I would say across the market, you'll see that most paints are either latex or waterborne paints. So I think through regulation too, everybody's moving away from alkyd or oil-based paints, because even if you wanted to, you couldn't have those higher VOCs across the country. And more states are actually adopting either OTC or OTC2 regulations, and slowly but surely are pushing a lot of those higher VOC paints. So with the technologies that we have in place right now, we're definitely improving a lot of those emissions and VOCs for our paints.
I guess what other myths that you guys experience when it comes to either green or sustainability or low VOC paint, or just paint in general, that you might want to cover? I can cover that topic. I mean, one thing I just thought about on this is, like, the myth might be that this kills everything, and it's like, well, it kills certain microbes, but if it's like a virus is not alive, so it's not going to kill a virus, so you still have to wash your hands. It's not going to live on the surface, but I mean, what does it do for viruses?
We don't make any claims about killing, especially viruses. This actually resist mold, mildew, bacteria, and certain bacteria. Some of our competitors do make that claim that they killed or the product kills specific viruses, and even at this point, we haven't seen anyone that can make the claim that kills COVID-19, for example, the COVID-19 virus.
Yeah, they can't. I mean, unless they have some sort of hydrogen peroxide off. I mean, I don't know what. That's more through electrolysis by doing that.
Yeah, not only that, those products need to be registered as a pesticide. So they're considered in the categories of pesticides. So that's a route that we haven't taken. We are using natural, silver, silver resins to make sure that we stay as healthy or create as healthy as we can products. So for full transparency, none of the products can claim, that they kill all viruses or that they kill specifically.
Yeah. I mean, it's still really, the verdict is out on that. There's still a lot of research being done to see, what it kills, what it doesn't kill. Does it kill viruses? What sort of viruses does it kill? What kind of bacteria does it kill? There's really a lot of research, especially now in light of the pandemic going on in that area. So the jury's still kind of out on that. So we, obviously we can't make any sort of claims on that, but there's still a lot of research being done.
Yeah, we're constantly looking at many different technologies available. And
I didn't write the technology down.
Yeah, and even if they're not available, we're looking also on the innovative side, and we're creating our own technology. So, I'm sure
you guys are. You guys are big. Are you guys allowed to speak to colors and stuff like that?
Yeah.
So with with this paint, are there I know sometimes you guys come up with specific color lines for a line of paint. Are there colors that work really well with this paint, or are the tint bases able to basically handle anything that somebody brings into one of your stores?
Yeah, this paint, like the majority of our paints, it has a 4-base system, 1X, 2X, 3X, and 4 base, and that allows you to tint it to pretty much over 3,500 of our Benjamin Moore colors. So there isn't anything that can be tinted in terms of our color palettes. with Spec silver. So the full assortment and the full breadth of colors are available for this product.
So you're saying there's only 3,500 colors though? I'm just kidding.
Over 35.
Over 35. So basically, the ones that you have obviously is your color palette, and then also anyone you guys color match as well. So somebody can bring a custom color in, but all your tint bases should be able to
Yes.
handle that within the EcoSpec silver and EcoSpec
Absolutely.
products. That's good to know, because I know other paints do have those limitations. They'll have something. It's like, hey, I've got this cool feature, but then it's like, oh, it only comes in light colors or dark colors or whatever. And that ends up being a challenge. One question that I've seen come up over the years. So with the darker tints, I know some of those have to have a little bit more, even though it's below the threshold. Do you have more VOCs in the darker tints, or is that something that's been worked out over the years as part of the process?
Kevin.
Yeah, well, no, it doesn't really add any additional VOCs. Our proprietary colorant system, the GenX colorants, are essentially zero VOC. So any additional colorant that's added for those deeper bases doesn't add any additional VOCs.
Go ahead.
For that, well, because a lot of your, I mean, your competition. That's one of the issues. The darker the paint, the more VOCs that are in there. They're like, hey, this is low VOC, but as soon as you add color to it, then it's not low VOC anymore.
Right, because a lot of their colorants, they already have VOCs in it. So when we say that we have a zero VOC product, and even after tinting, it remains zero VOC in that.
Well, as a green builder and designer, I mean, that's the last thing my clients want to hear. It's like, hey, we're building this greenhouse for you, LEED, Earthcraft, or some other spec, whether it's commercial or residential. Then you tell them, it's like, oh, by the way, you can't choose this color. It's like, it was low VOC until you chose that color, then you lose those points, may lose the certification. And they just don't want to hear that, because like the designer wants to pick out the color regardless. So it sounds like with your product, that's not an issue. They just, as long as you go with this manufacturer, EcoSpec within Benjamin Moore, that does that apply to your other lines as well, or is it just the EcoSpec? So your colors, you use the same color. I believe you call it, what was it, the GenX?
Yes, all of our waterborne products, are able to use the GenX technology. Of course, any products that are alkyd based or that are oil based, they're not tinted on the GenX colorants. They're tinted on our CP platform. But any of our waterborne products, from Aura to Regal to Ben to UltraSpec, will be able to be tinted on the GenX platform.
Well, thanks for helping dispel that myth and bust that myth. The fact that low VOC does mean it stays low VOC no matter what the color. Because I've been telling my clients, hey, you can't pick a black, you can't pick a brown, you can't pick anything that's fun, because you're gonna end up killing yourself with VOCs, and apparently that's not the case. So I've been educated, and I appreciate you guys letting me know in on that little secret.
No problem.
Well, I mean, one thing you guys do really well, and the designers seem to love it, like the way you guys create your colors and name your colors, because it seems like no matter what type of paint's being used out there, it's always a Benmore color that's being suggested, like when I'm on these different projects. And obviously I'm going to be pushing you guys a lot on projects more, mainly because of that VOC, because it seems like other manufacturers haven't quite conquered that yet. That's something you guys should be proud of and talk about more. I'm not sure how much is part of your marketing and whatnot.
And,
That's big.
It's a lot more relevant now, more than ever, as I mentioned at the beginning of our conversation, given the fact that people are a lot more aware of products that are eco-friendly, eco-responsible, with zero or low VOCs, because they want to be able to protect those who occupy those spaces. So that's something that's more and more important as the time goes on. given the current situation. More important than ever, I would say.
And actually, Matt, if I can just chime in, and it doesn't necessarily have to be something you guys get into, but worth mentioning that, you know, for example, one of the things that we were highlighting at Greenbelt 2019 was not just this kind of discussion around the Gen X colorants and how they're made to work with our products, but really that, you know, from any manufacturer to any other manufacturer, that is really what makes, you know, our colors truly our colors and unmatchable in any other competitor. Because at least, you know, speaking from our organization standpoint, you know, as these guys had said, our colorants, all of the, you know, things that come together in a Benjamin Moore product are designed to work together. And so what we've, you know, tested and seen is that when you go and take a Benjamin Moore color that everyone loves and specifies all the time as their favorite, and they take it to a competitor to try to match that, that you really won't get a lot of the performance benefits of the product and of the performance of the color quality and integrity, et cetera, as you would if you did that in a Benjamin Moore paint. And so, you know, one of the things that we always focus on is, you know, to truly achieve that Benjamin Moore color that you love, it should be in a Benjamin Moore product for all of those reasons, the science of what's in the can, if you will.
They all tried to match our Benjamin Moore colors, and they could never really truly match it again. And it's because of our Gen X platform. It actually is designed to work, as Kimberly says, with our product. So they're compatible. So whenever they come back and you know, with other competitor products, no, we tried to attempt to do a Benjamin Moore color and it didn't match. It's because, you know, their coloring system and our coloring system is completely different, and they don't quite you know, match, and at the end of the day, they don't get the color that they would expect with a Benjamin Moore product.
And many of our competitors use third-party colorants, you know, colorants that they buy kind of off the shelf. Whereas, you know, our colorants are unique to Benjamin Moore. So it's a big advantage for us.
Well, cool. Well, I definitely appreciate you guys' time. All right. Thanks, everyone, for your time. Thanks for watching this video. I want to thank Benjamin Moore and their colleagues here. If you enjoyed this presentation, give them a thumbs up. We've loaded up some additional videos for you to enjoy, and we'll see you next time. I'm Matt Hoots with Rated Green, helping you build green confidently.